Welcome to our last song breakdown. So today we are having Swallow the Sun. It's probably one of my favorite from this record, and especially when it comes to like the um, weird instrumentations here and there. Especially, I think that this is one of the most like bombastic song on the record, and I really enjoy like the orchestration, for example. So yeah, we're gonna run you through this song. Okay, so we can start with since for first time I'm gonna start with the drum because I always start with drums, but usually like the other song they have something else, right? So yeah, here we are, Swallow the Sun. Let's see what the drum is doing in this opening part. So they just it's a very squash drum. Very well, at this part there's a lot of things going on, so it's just like right. And what we have is so we have some one shot kick. Not yeah, like, and we have also like this additional kick drum, and then we have this just a normal kick drum, and we have also this one shot over here. It's just like a very long tail reverb, just to add a bit of that additional like oomph to it. Um, then down here we have four different snare. I mean these are all the same snare. Um, the the real snare sound. So we have let me just solo this thing. So what do we have here? Okay, so the reason I have four of them is just to give me like a lot more control over how I want to process this thing. I mean, I could have just like in one channel and route them differently, but during the process of mixing this, I was like, yeah, I want to do it separately. So that's what I have here, like just four different snare sound. I think these are all the same snare, and they're out differently. So we have here the main snare. We just go here. We have a compressor, a saturator, and an EQ. And then the second snare, which is snare ring, and this one you have a transient designer. Let me just solo this thing first for a second. So this is like the one snare, right? There's some bit of reverb. It's being sent to reverb here as well to like the parallel compression and the saturated drums. I also have a smack reverb, which is basically like just like a very squash reverb to bring out the tail a bit more. And then you have the snare ring. Right, you get a bit of that more like tail to it. Then the third one is this thing, which is what is this? It's another. I don't know what I did with this one. It's a Saturn, probably just more kind of squash snare sound. And I think this is the third one. I think this is like a smack. Yeah, just like there's no sustain and it's just the attack. So altogether, yeah, you get that additional like bah, right? Because if you take out the attack of the snare, you can hear the difference. Right, you just take out a smack. Here you get a bit of more of that like transient cutting through. I also have this like snare room smack. I think somewhere. I need to find it. If it's even on, let me see. Yes. So there is another snare somewhere up here. I need to find it. I think this is the one. Yeah. Okay. So this is a snare room. So it's just a simple snare room, and what I did with this was, so this is what the snare room sounds like. Right. You get that big snare sound. And this you just like get really distorted. So what I have on this is like another EQ, a compressor, doesn't actually do a lot, a distortion. Okay, let me just turn this thing off and then play it. Right, and then it adds a bit of that body to the snare. OTT, just crush it. A transient designer, bring a bit that body out, and then this one just for trimming in effect. So yeah, all the snare drums go through. Well, not this one. This one goes straight to the bus, and on the snare bus I have more compression, EQ, clipper, and a yeah. That's the snare sound. Yeah, and on the kick drum we have the main kick, just an EQ, nothing really going on this one. This is the additional kick drum. This is the mothership that's later on, and then on the kick bus I have an EQ, compressor, balancer, transient designer, and another EQ. Yeah, right now I'm turning off the effects because it's gonna make my computer explode if I keep them on. Yeah, so there's nothing a lot going on in the beginning for the drums. A lot of the cool parts are like down here. So let's just go what the synths doing. We have one, 2, 3. I think 3 synth sound going on. Let's see. Yeah, so we have this dubstep brass. I love that sound. And we have this distorted lead. I think it's already quite distorted when I produce it, but then I add more distortion because why not? This is what it sounds like. Oh, yeah. I just love when you got a synth and there's like this distortion on it, but not to a point where it's a completely destroy the sound, but to a point where it sounds like the sound is breaking apart, like on the verge of like shattering. Oh, I love that sound, and that's what this like fast distortion pedal plugin is doing. Just add a bit of that distortion, and then I put a soothe on it just to tame a bit of that harshness. And then some EQ because we don't need anything from like low down there. And the other one is this arpeggio, which basically runs through the whole song. And the interesting part about this arpeggio is in 7/8, but the song is in 4/4. And it has like very almost like retro aspect to the sound, which I really like. Yeah, all the synths. Let me just turn this on. So what's on the synth bus? We have a compressor, some EQ, There's a wave shaper that I'm not turning on right now. I think that is for later. So we're gonna go there, I think during the dubstep part. That the synth. And down here we have the bass, which you cannot really hear anything because like it's just a sub bass. Guitars, there's no guitar in this part. Some orchestra, and I think like this is like the best part of this sound. Because I think if you play everything right without the orchestral part, let me just turn the orchestral off. Right, sounds pretty nice. I like it, but it lacks a bit of that sort of like uplifting majesty, so to speak, and that's where the orchestral comes in. So this is what it sounds like. So we have more hit, because why not? I just wanted to just completely punch through the mix. So the more punch, the better. And then we have this brass section. There's nothing here, but because I think like this one already put a lot of compression, a compressor, and distortion on it. Then we have this like staccato, just to get at that bit of like transient and attack. Right. So to layer with like. And then we have the woodwind. Do some very nice harmony. And also like I distort the living hell out of it so that it matched the energy with the synthesizer. And then down here we have some additional like elements, which is like a vocal chop. Again, I don't remember exactly how I did this thing. It's been a while. Probably portals. If it sounds weird, it's probably portals. Yeah, and I think that's the beginning. I don't think there is anything more to this. There's no guitar, there's no bass here, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's the opening, and I think this is like such a nice opening in my opinion, because like it's just bam, and it just like it demands your attention, like just there and then grab you immediately, and I like that. Oh yeah, let me just turn everything on. But you get the idea. So here we have this bass arena, which is basically the same bass that made from Arena's vocal that I use on Where the Scar. So I reuse it here because I think this is the third track that I wrote. So like this is right after Arena's Where the Scar. So like, okay, I'm gonna grab this in and just put it here. So same principle. This is like a 7/8 riff over a 4/4 drum. So we get the bass and the stuff. Right. This track is technically very simple and straightforward. The cool little aspect is usually from like syncopations. So yeah, we got the bass there, and then we also have this. And we also have this like vocals down here. Yeah, this one from Splice from Tori Lesler. I really love her vocals, and if you have listened to Fallujah, the Dreamless, definitely my favorite Fallujahs of all time, records of all time. Probably one of my favorite progressive death metal slash post ambient record. Her voice there is fucking amazing. So yeah, I'll sample a lot of the stuff that she had on Splice. Just throw them here, and then you have some additional thing down here. Yeah, also with Portal, it just sounds crazy. This one as well. Yeah, so like they all flow into one another, which is like really lovely. Oh yeah, this like it's just creepy and eerie and very distorted. Again, I love distortion. Right, and it's just like the flow of it and everything just like moving sort of in and out. I just really love that. And yeah, and up here I also like the drums where it start off with just like a got the like the hi-hat and the kick drums. Just like slowly building. Very straightforward rock beat. And then it goes to this like genty section, right? Yeah. So this part, I love the groove over here. As you can see here, like there's a lot of like boost of volume because these are like snare notes. And it's interlinked really nice with like the I love how it works with like the tom. Yeah, and on the tom we have this tom smack setting. There's a lot of stuff happening here. Yeah, I just wanted to sound very just bombastic and huge from this one. So we got some EQ, compressor, distortion, OTT, transient designer, more EQ, and yeah, and a limiter on it. And that's the drum. And then we go, so this part, what do we have here in terms of other instrumentation? Inside. Let me just mute the vocal for now. I don't need that. Right, so we have more distorted leads here. Alright, just to go with like the the drums pattern. And I got the leads on top. So like yeah, again like the same melodic phrase, this arpeggio that goes like 7/8 against 4/4. The same with the bass. It's kind of synth wavy as well, because like when I wrote this, like one of the main influence for this album is New Model by Perturbator, and he has this way of like create this like very dark, moody like synth wave, like dark synth, but with a touch of like metal influence underneath, and I really love that. And so yeah, so like here we go into the syncopated part with the guitars and the bass. So what is this Umansky bass? Very straightforward. We also have the guitars. We have 3 guitar tones. So we have this main guitar. I think this is like a Nolly amp. Sorry, guitar. We have some multi-band compressor. Sorry, not a compressor, mostly for the tone. EQ. This is my favorite EQ for guitar. It just works. You just boost some 2K, a bit of down here, pull it down like 600 to me, and it just sounds good. Like if I don't have it, for example, like it's a bit more dull, a bit more like it just doesn't have the bite that I was looking for. And the harmonic maximizer will just add a bit of that extra like sizzle to it. EQ. That's the guitar tone. The main guitar tone. Okay. Well, there's more to it. Actually, I haven't turned this thing on. There's another guitar. I don't remember which one this one is. Probably I have also even a different guitar as well. And then we have this. This is a synthesizer that I ran through Nolly. I think this is a synthesizer run through the same setting as this guitar up here, just so that I can match like the response and the EQ curve, and then just like how it sounds together. Yeah, that's so much more brighter and bitey. Yeah, and that's the verse. Okay, let me see. I'll go through the vocals later on. I don't want to turn them on and off right now. And then we go to the chorus. Okay, shut up for now. Thank you. Yeah, everything is falling apart. Bear with me here. So probably not gonna be ideal to run everything because I think that's already turned off the chorus vocal. Okay, so what we have here, I mean you're listening to the song already. So we have a just right like a chord vibe, and then we have tremolo down here. Actually, yeah. If I turn this off, for example, let's see. Vocals go off. I still don't really hear. Let me just do this. And then we have another tremolo down. Yeah, the chorus is very dense. Like you hear, like the guitar is very distorted. Got the bass, also a distorted bass. Right, so also it does not follow the guitar, and I love that sort of interchanging between like guitar, bass, and I think this one follows the kick drum, or I think the guitar follows the kick drum, and the bass is not doing that. Okay, what else do we have here? We have some synthesizer, which is, they are also very distorted. Everything here is super distorted. So it's a wall of noise. that's that. I don't think there's any orchestration during this part. Not that I remember. Let me just. Okay, you can shut up for now. Thank you. Okay, there's some weird noise here. Yeah, so during the chorus there is no orchestration. I mean, everything is already pretty fucked up here. So the drums, we have a blast beat. I love blast beat. There's the next part. Also, the drums here is kind of interesting. We got the ride doing like a triplet thing, whereas like this thing is just like a straight like 4/4, and then it just goes pretty smooth into like another like rock beat vibe, right? And I particularly like this part because like it goes against like again like this is 4/4, but also has syncopation in it. And then you get like the synthesizer doing like a 7/8 on top of it, so it just sounds pretty wacky. Everything is just sort of fighting each other a bit. And you have the vocal just like slowly in the background. So before we go there, let's see, we have additional like leads here. Oh yeah, it's just the same thing. Then get the dubstep brass coming back, and it's like slowly rising up in tone, pitch. It's like slowly building up. We'll go in there. We'll go there. What else we have? Got the bass down here as well. Guitar and then the vocal. I love the vocals on this one. Not my vocal, that's why. Yeah, and then we go to the fun parts. The dubstepy. Let's see, what do we have here? There's a lot of things happening. So yeah, we got this little thumper as a riser kind of thing, and then we have this. Sorry. That's the dubstep. And it's like it's go between this like again like the 7/8 lead I love that. And then down here we have a glitch guitar, which sound like this. And this one, I think I play a note or something on the guitar, and then I just pitch the living hell out of it before it hits a guitar amp, I believe. Yeah, I do that before I hit the guitar amp. So like it creates a very glitchy sound effect. So yeah, that's. Also like this one is also like another guitar glitch. Yeah, okay. And then just go with this thing. Like you have like this. I put a gross beat here just to like chop up the sound, and then go to the next dubstep snarl. Yeah, it's got that stutter effect. I love that. And then we go to the breakdown, which is there's a lot of things going on here. We have one synth. Mostly noise. Like it exists mostly just to add some noise to it. Which one is it? Oh yeah, and I think this is the part. Yeah, this is the part where the wave shaper was turned on. Okay. The synth. So like the whole. I think this whole part like this was turned on, or where is it turning on? Oh yeah, like the breakdown is where the. Okay, let's see. There we go. So that one's mostly noise. We have the brass again. Then we have this lead. And this lead. Very noisy. More noisy synth, I believe this one as well. Yeah. One that's a plucky. And then down here we get the bass. And the guitar, which we have the one rhythm. Right, the main rhythm. Second. I think this one I down tune even more. The synth and the extra breakdown. Or I think this one is the one that I bring it down. Like the whole thing just fill it up with noise. That just sounds stupid. I don't know. Let me see if I can turn the guitar on. That's just stupid. We repeat the chorus twice, and towards the end we have that is my favorite ending that I have ever written. So the meat and potato of this part, we have this. It's basically the orchestral. Get the hit, I think this one I layer like a shit ton of stuff on it. Then we have this string assemble. Just go on thing. Yeah, but the string is doing just like one long chord, and it's like in major. So that's the thing that I love doing with all of my song. Usually, like towards the last song or second to last in this record, it's like it start with, I think in the beginning it's like an F Lydian or something. I don't remember, or Mixolydian. It's a different tone, and then it goes into like F minor, and then towards the end, like here we got an F major chord to end. It's like this pickery third. Between the Buried and Me does it all the time. Basically, I think like all the album ends like this. My favorite ways to end albums in general, especially for metal, where you use a lot more like minor scale and whatnot. So we have this strings, and then we have this brass assemble. It just sounds so majestic. I love it. And then underneath we have some choir. And chime. Basically, this part is very much inspired by Mirar, like the first song from the new album Ascension, where we get like this lush, like symphonic, like opening, a baroque like opening with like this interesting, intricate sound design, and like the chime and everything just adds so much like movement and brightness to it, and like, oh, it's just such a amazing opening. And I was like, when I heard that song, I was like, shit, I'm gonna copy that. And that's basically what happened here, because it went from like a very distorted and just like very dense and heavy blast beat, more or less, and then it just goes straight into this beautiful like orchestral part here. Definitely my favorite parts of the whole album. So like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the vocals, and then down here we have all of this thing. Let me turn on my chorus. So before I just want to show you like the ending. I love this part as well because there's a lot of harmony going on. We see 3 here, but I think this thing is like 14 to 15 track of stuff. So we got the harmony. They have this low harmony. And like the main harmony. Melody or note in this case. Goosebump. Yeah. So that's mostly the instrumentation. Let me go through the vocals. So there's basically nothing in the beginning except for the sample vocal, and then we got that's the chorus. Let me go to the verse first. I'm gonna solo my vocal.
Well, missing, dressed in silence, vibrant colors elude me. Well-made dreams paint and violence. He knows this empty plea. Fall into your eyes.
Right, so the verse, we have three things happening here. Let me see. What are these things?
Well, missing, dressed in silence, vibrant colors elude me.
This one is the main one. I believe we have a pro cue. I think this is already like three vocals come together.
Well, missing, dressed in silence.
Or not. I don't remember. We got the compressor.
Well, missing, dressed in
That's a alto boy, just to add a bit more. Again, the reason I'm adding a lot of effects on a vocal is because like everything around it, it's just so distorted, so synthesized, that the voice to me needs a bit robotic in this like character for it to like sort of blend in and fill in the gap. We also have a vocal synth that it's not running. Okay, there we go. Fuck you. There we go. We got a vocal synth, just add a bit of stuff on it, and a hyper chorus.
well, missing, dressed in silence.
Then we have this thing then.
Well, missing, dressed in silence.
This one is already processed. I think like I pitched it down a lot, pulled down the Foreman. We got more alto boy, and this mutator. It just makes it sound weird. I like it, and an EQ. And this one down here, I think it's vocoders.
Well, missing, dressed in silence, vibrant colors elude me. Well-made dreams, paint and violence.
So like all of them sound together.
Well, missing, dressed in silence, vibrant colors elude me. Well-made dreams.
And we got an STA delay, a limiter. This is like I sidechain it so that it will duck the vocal when the main vocal is singing. There's no delay happening.
Well, missing, dressed in silence, vibrant colors.
As you can see from here, right? It's just like going up when the main vocal is not in, so that it just doesn't bog down. Because this is a very dance mix. You don't want the delay vocal to come in when the main vocal is singing. So that's the verse. I'll go to the other verse as well, and then we do the chorus. Yeah, this is the second.
I'm running on black luck, drinking in the noise I made. In truth, I can recall only pain and insecure. Shut the blind and flee to sin, and lift me to my bitter end. If the sun could set earlier tonight.
Yeah, and then we have more of that. This one we have some harmonies on it. So the vocals in this one we have
I'm running.
just the main vocal and then
I'm running.
the vocoder. And here we have the main vocal again.
If the sun could set earlier tonight.
Then we have the harmony.
If the sun could set earlier tonight, I will drown myself.
Then some low.
If the sun could set earlier tonight.
Okay, this is the main. That's why I was
If the
like,
sun could set earlier tonight.
This is the harmony.
If the sun could set earlier tonight, I will drown myself for one last time.
Yeah, and that's the main, and this is like the vocal. Like,
If the sun could set earlier tonight, I would drown myself for one last time.
yep, and here. So let's go to the chorus. The first one we have.
Fall into your arms tonight. Rise the pale vapor, swallow the sun.
Okay, we have a lot of things. Yeah, we have. I think this is the main. Yes. Okay.
Fall into your arms tonight. Rise the pale vapor, swallow the sun.
So that's the main vocal, which I also ran through the vocodecs here. Then we have this, whatever this is.
Fall into your arms tonight. Rise the
This is the high one.
Fall into your arms tonight.
This one was the hardest to get right.
Vapor, swallow the sun.
It's just so high, it's just so energetic the whole time, and you really need the vocal to cut through the mix because everything else is just fucking distorted. Then we have the pedal, and we got this shout part.
Fall into your arms tonight.
It's just very cracking. Like I cannot really hit that. But in the context of every other part of the vocal, it just add a bit of that grittiness to the whole thing. So like if I take without it, for example.
Fall into your arms tonight.
Right? It does not have the same bite, so to speak.
Fall into your arms tonight.
That little shout, kind of like breaking. It just adds some character to it. I mean, if I could do it right, I probably would have. I didn't, because like my voice was, I just can't. It's just very high, and you always do some shouty parts. So you just gonna have to work with what you have. And the chorus bus, we have a de-esser, we got a multi-band compressor, we get another compressor and EQ, mostly just to tame the sound. We got a coffee spoon, which is like a EQ. Hyperchorus, got a fruity delay on it. We have a reverb on it, outlaw to like a vocal writer. And these went straight to the vocal bus, which sidechained to the instrumentation so that it duck out the mid range a bit. So yeah, that's the chorus vocal, and then I have like the extra ending note here just to make it slide smoother to the next part. And that's more or less it. And there's just like one scream part, and what is this? Yeah. Yeah. It sound very distorted. What do we have? This is the harsh vocal. We got a decapitator on it. I think I already put a decapitator before it. Maybe let me see. Yeah, it's already have a decapitator before that. And I just said, you know what? I want more because everything here is so distorted. So like, I might as well just throw more into it. Yeah, so if you play the whole thing, we got. Oh no. Nope. It's here. Let me. Where is it? Yeah. So that is pretty much the whole song. Am I missing something? Do I want to touch on? I mean, most of the other things that are happening on different channel is I have already gone through in the other video because like my mixing chain is more or less tend to kind of similar. But yeah, as I got the bass, also like have some EQ, compression, and a limiter on it just to make sure like you get like a nice even like bass. On the orchestra we have vintage warmer. This doesn't do anything actually, and a multi-band compressor. I think like this one is the kick drum I think is sidechain here, so I think it's just so that like it really duck the low end a bit, so it doesn't like fight each other. Yeah, the verse fresh to return on verse bus. This is the vocal bus. We got the de-esser on it. Channel strip again. EQ, fresh air. Add a bit of that touch there. Delay, and some reverb, vintage reverb. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. That's the end, and that's the album. Thank you guys so much for watching all these videos. I really enjoy doing this. I really enjoy showing you how I do things because like at least for me, like I love seeing people when they break down songs and break down their production parts. So if this is like like beneficial to you and you find this like helpful, leave a like, leave a comment below, subscribe, those kind of things. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the album. If you haven't listened to the album and you're here for some reason, go check it out. Eulogy for a Dying Star. It's been out everywhere. And yeah, go stream it. I will release the instrumental version of the album soon, probably by the end of this year or early next year. I don't know yet. I still need to do some additional like production stuff on the master bus because with the instrumental, I'm gonna master it myself. But yeah, there's some automation stuff, but whatever. I can zoom in right now, but like yeah, just some automation things going here and there. Sorry about that. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Go listen to the album. Have a good weekend with your families, your loved ones, your friends. Look out for one another. Don't be a dick. And until next time, bye.